Hello, Buckeye Prep Sports fans. We are digging into our 2026 volleyball previews, and the first one that comes up is, of course, reigning GMC champions, the Tenora Rams, finishing 24-3, a 7-0 record in the GMC according to Max Preps. We are looking at a pretty good chance in that they might go back to back, but that could be proven wrong by the Fairview Apaches and a couple other teams I could see sneaking in there. Games to highlight, of course, is Napoleon, Shawnee, Parkway, Swanton, and Archbold. Primarily their non-conference, because I don't think that other than one or two GMC members that I just listed have a strong chance at knocking off the Rams this season in conference play. Top returners, Macy Benfeld, sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, Ella Schwaben, also a senior, but Macy was a junior, and Addison Dominique Sr. from Tenor as well. And Tenor really enters this season as a team dominating GMCs last year, finishing as conference champions once again. The Rams have built a strong volleyball tradition with a great defense, strong serving, and pretty much consistent play all throughout last year. They will be the favorite again. Once again, there is some pieces that will need replacing like any other team with seniors. Maintaining that high level of play is probably just going to be the biggest challenge this year. I think they have the pieces personally to go on another GMC title run. Overall, I want to say Tenor is my favorite to win the GMCs once again. Once I look at the entire Green Meadows Conference outlook, and that will be your Tenora preview. Fairview's volleyball team just won the conference barely even a year ago, it feels like, but it had been conquered, of course, by the Tenor Rams in this past year, and it'll be really interesting to see what they can do to get back to form, as I think they will be losing some key pieces, but also returning a couple of key ones such as Nevaeh Hessler, Marisa Redshirt, and Liberty Vogelsong. Games to highlight: Napoleon Swanton. I have the date. I wasn't able to add it to this graphic for the Tenor game. Probably be the other one to highlight, as I don't see much teams similar to Tenora in their fashion, other than non-conference really affecting them too much. So I really wanted to highlight the Napoleon and Swanton game as probably the best chance of them losing on the season overall, because how talented the returning players they have coming. Oh, sorry, how talented the returning players are that are coming back for them. Currently, Fairview had a great GMC runner-up season once again, with their only conference loss being Tenora, the team they could not conquer. Probably one of the most consistent programs in the GMC once again, with barely even a year ago, it feels like, winning the GMC. Of course, it has been a year. They should be once again a title contender, 22-4, 6-1 overall. Last year in the GMCs, overall, I think I'm having Fairview around in the same place as I did last year. Of course, by just projecting them to be the number 2 preseason overall, a lot of things can change, but I think that it will be a Tenor edge once again this year, but I'd like to be proven wrong. So that is your Fairview Apaches volleyball preview. The Paulding Panthers volleyball team finished 17-6, 4-3 in the Green Meadows Conference last year, but I think they will be even better than they were last year, especially with the amount of talent that is returning this year. They were a decently young team last year, but were able to bring a big fight to some of those upper quad teams. To highlight, Van Wert at home, 8-24, at Fairview, 9-3, at Ayersville, 9-15, and at Tenora, 10-15. Turn Addison Arend, Kaylee Dunham, Tori Schlatter, that's a big name you're going to hear a lot this season, and STPs. Sorry if I pronounce any of those, as those are probably the first time I am trying to pronounce their names. Paulding continued to establish itself as a stronger team throughout last year, on winning season. Panthers bring a physical style of play and have the talent to compete with the top teams in the GMCs, like I commented on. If they can improve against the conference best teams, like your Fairview and Tenora, they should make a strong push to the GMC title. I have Paulding third, as you can see here. I think they could shock myself, pulling off an upset against Fairview. Right now, I'm going to play it safe and have them third in the preseason poll. The Wayne Trace Raiders look to capitalize on a weekend GMC at the lower half, I should say. At the top, I think it's pretty much set and put that Paulding, Fairview, and Denora are going to be those three teams battling out for the GMC title this year. Of course, the big games for them that could impact what is Paulding on the road, Lima Senior at home, Tenora, and Fairview, those teams that I just mentioned. At the top returners, Olivia Zartman, I think she's going to surprise a lot of people. Amber Stoller, she's always been a solid varsity player. And Kendall Denny, 11 and 12 overall, and 4 and 3 in the GMCs, according to Max Preps. Now, Wayne Trace finished around 500 last season, of course. Sorry, just above it. They showed they can be in the GMC, and that's why I really liked them. But primarily, the reason why I liked them because they're a very tough defensive team, and they played with a lot of energy, especially with Lexi Moore last year. She carried a good chunk of that energy you can just see, along with the Winans twins. Continued growth from young players will be really important this season, going into next season, because those names I mentioned are going to have a key role in this season, and they have potential to have a good season and move up in the standings and find a little bit more consistency in play. There's some spurs throughout the season, but overall, I think Wayne Trace is going to have a pretty solid year overall for 2026. Edgerton Bulldogs have always been that middle of a pack team for the Green Meadows Conference. And as much as I would like that to change this year, I don't see that happening. Last year, they went 14-11, 2-5 in the GMCs. I couldn't find the official dates on Max Preps because they didn't list them currently. But probably by the time that I get this video out, they probably already have them listed. And this is pre-recorded, of course. Top returners, Caitlin Burke, Ella Heward, however you pronounce it. Sorry about that. Kara Schroeder. That will be a very interesting group as I don't know. So we'll get together. Their overall record from last year showed they could be competitive against those non-conference teams just in the wins column alone. I wasn't able to find much video on the Bulldogs themselves, so I feel a little off-put about this. But I think their ability to challenge some of those non-conference teams could lead to them pulling off some GMC upsets. But they're very young. A strong start could be put them in the position to climb the standings, and that's by getting a lot more reps for younger talent. But that's definitely hard in volleyball. Just having JV, it's going to be hard to say what they can do with that younger talent to make them push. But I feel like they're going to have a solid season. That middle of a pack team, I don't see them. I would like to be proven wrong, but I don't see them pushing for being more than just that. So that is my Edgerton preview, and I have them about 5th in our poll. Hicksville finished 4-9 and 1-6 and second to dead last in the GMCs last year. But I think they will slightly improve by moving up one spot as they went 1-6 and 4-19, if I haven't mentioned before, overall. And I think the top returners are probably Joycelyn Baldwin, McKenna Beard, and Mika, sorry if I pronounced that correctly, Inkrat, sorry if I mispronounced your name, as that is a hard one. Games to highlight: Archbold at home, Fairview at home, at Tenora, and Paulding at home against those tougher talents. And those are definitely probably the 4 toughest games on their schedule. I think if they can get past that alright with no injuries or anything, they could have a decent season. Overall, I was sort of shocked because they gained a lot of experience throughout last year, and the Aces had several competitive matches. If you just look at their schedule from last year, the improvement definitely shows with the younger players. If they can build more consistency and confidence, I could see them even doing better than this. But right now, I have to put them at 6 because I don't see them quite having a leap over Wayne Trace, but I could have them having a leap over Edgerton. But wouldn't shock me if they pull off an upset against Wayne Trace. Could be a middle of a pack team. I don't think they're touching Polity right now, but overall, I think the Hicksville Aces could have a solid season. Ayersville is usually a top team, I should say, but this year I think will be different. I hate to say it, but I see them more on the lower half of the GMCs. I'd like to be proven wrong, but I'll tell you why here just in a sec. Games to highlight at Antwerp, Tenor at home, and Paulding, probably the biggest ones for conference sakes. Brianna Sobecki, Ava Sigler, and Annalie Weigerber. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing those names. They went 14-9 last year overall and 4-3 in conference. Currently, we have them at 7th in our poll projections, or our poll not projections, but those are sort of tree-like projection, I should say. But Ayersville showed a solid season last year, finishing tied for 3rd in the GMC standings. They showed they can compete with upper middle, not midder. I don't know why I put upper and middle together to create, you know what I mean. But they will have a major challenge replacing a senior that they've lost from their varsity team. With a young roster, I expect a lot of turnover, a lot of key mistakes early, just like any other team. If some players step up, I'd like to see them competitive in the GMC, see how far of an experience gap they have. This is definitely a rebuild year, I want to say. And I think overall, they're just a very young team that is inexperienced. And I see them more at the bottom than anything else. Antwerp was a. It's hard to say with Antwerp because, as much as I want to pinpoint their record last year to their youth, it's going to be hard to say that with this year, as they finished 4-19 last year, 0-7 in conference. The biggest games to highlight is Kalida at Paulding at Hicksville, as those are probably their biggest games. I could see them having an impact in. I don't fully believe right now that they could upset Paulding, but Hicksville, it's definitely maybe. Hicksville, overall, I don't think is going to be too crazy out of the league. I forget, what did I have them at? You will find out later. But Hicksville just being a rival on its own. Top returners, Alexis Otto, Clara Roars, and Josie Han. Sorry if I mispronounce any of those names, but those are probably the biggest returners I could see, according to the stat sheet, returning this year. Most of the time, for these top returners, I go off the stat sheet and I go off film. So, for Antwerp, digging into it, Antwerp faced a really difficult schedule last season as well, especially in non-conference, and struggled in conference play. Archers will be focused on player development and creating more consistency throughout matches, with young players gaining experience. Hopefully, that closed the gap a little bit, experience and skill-wise, for the GMC. I have them dead last right now, but that could change depending on how the GMC flip-flops.